Happy Wine Wednesday, everyone. Whoops, wrong way. Yeah. All right. Happy Wine Wednesday, everyone. Hope you're having a fabulous week. For those of you in America, hope you're all ready for Thanksgiving tomorrow. Happy Thanksgiving if you celebrate. Um, and yeah, so here we are on Wine Wednesday again. I've got Holly and Ray with me. Cheryl has not come, but we don't know why. So we're hoping that she's just um, up to her eyeballs in Thanksgiving. Tonight is open chat. We do not have a guest. So any questions, comments, discussion that you would like to have, I'm turning the chat on in my end right now so I can see you guys. Hi, Young Erector, excuse me. Hi, Zen. Yeah, anything you guys want us to chat about, we're here for it. You know, that's what we're here for. I did want to real quick, I know Holly's got something to share too, but I wanted to real quick show you guys. My daughter got me this. Oh, I don't know if you'll be able to see it because of the stupid light. It says, there's always time for friends, wine, and coffee. I don't know if you can see it, but it's real
Cute.
cute.
You need to use a mirror.
I know. I need a better light. It's because my light broke. We were having this discussion before we went live. I had a professional light that I used to use. Tonight, I don't even have my AirPods. I'm a mess, guys. Sorry. But the other one I wanted to show you, probably can't see this one either, but I'm just showing you a glimpse. Like this is my actual macro tank on a mug. Right?
Ooh, pretty.
Oh, there's my Seahorse on the very edge. Don't know if you see him right there. And then, of course, I've got all the Seahorse Whisperer mugs, right? So these mugs, I know you guys, I've been promising the website forever, and I just get overwhelmed because I want it to have a lot of factual information. And as information changes, then the article changes. Videos were outdated. I know I'm rambling. I'm not trying to like make excuses because I'm still gung ho. Absolutely want to get this website done to provide good information and good videos and stuff. It's just time consuming, right? But you can, if you want a coffee counts, which I need to send one to Kevin still. But if you want any of these mugs or t-shirts that we wear or any of that stuff, you can get it. I'll provide a link in a minute, but it's also on the YouTube page and I've shared it before. But I'll share it again in case you guys just want some Seahorse gear because it's fun, right? And I think I'm gonna have to do like sometime between Thanksgiving and Christmas, I'll do some sort of like discount so you guys can get the stuff cheaper, right? So remind me and I'll do that. But Holly, I think you had something to share. What did you want to share with us?
I do. So yeah, I don't really have it ready yet, but today I gave the seahorses their Christmas decor because usually what I do is decorate the house for Christmas the day after Thanksgiving. You know, over the Thanksgiving holiday weekend, I take the time to decorate, and today was their water change day. So I had things go into the bleach bucket, and I thought, well, I might as well give them their Christmas things today because if I don't, I'll have to wait till next water change day, next Wednesday. So I'm like, I might as well. So I gave them their Christmas things, just little aquarium decorations that came from PetSmart. I've had them a couple years now. And so they're enjoying them. I got some cute pictures and video I can share, but it'll take me a minute to pull it up on my Facebook. So you can share some other stuff or talk for a bit while I look.
Okay, absolutely. While she looks, I'll tell you, Ray, and ask you if you think my idea is good. You guys all know that I have been hoping for Fry ever since I didn't have Fry anymore, right? Like I had Fry and it was overwhelming and I finally got good at it. And I had this huge tank of adolescent 35, huge seahorses that I had to get rid of. And it was overwhelming, but I was loving it. My mom passed. Everything went to poop. And I lost most of my seahorses in the process. So when I got back into it and started really, giving it a try again, Ray knows, you guys know, I put too many seahorses in an all-in-one because I do want Fry, but also I've been trying to prove that people in an apartment or people in a smaller home or for whatever reason, you can keep seahorses in a smaller tank as long as you do the work. What I'm finding is that because number one, I have too many seahorses in there. I've got 5 seahorses. That's way too many. Please don't do that. If you want to keep an all-in-one, keep a pair. That's it, right? But I thought I knew best, and I put too many in, hoping they would pair up, and then I would section them off. Nobody's pairing up. They dance all the time. I thought one male was pregnant at one point, and I just no fry, no eggs, no nothing. So I'm bummed. In the tank, I have 3 females, 2 males. 2 are from Ocean Rider, 2 are from Vincent, and 1 is from Holly. And they, like I said, they act like they like each other, but they never go at it. We've had discussions before about possibly changing up the flow, changing up the temperature. I'm to the point where I think they just don't like each other. So here's my idea, right? And you can tell me that I'm crazy and stupid and all that good stuff. But here's what I think I'm going to do. I've still got the 65-gallon running with 2 seahorses over there, right? I'm thinking that I'm going to actually set up the 55. It's just sitting there. It's been sitting there since I took down my reef. I think I'm going to set up the 55. I think I'm going to clean up the 65 because I've just kind of let it go. You know, it's got the sump, it's got the algae scrubber. It's not bad. It's just not good, right? There's nothing impressive about it. So I think I'm going to do that up. Maybe like macros and so make a more natural looking tank. Keep the all-in-one going, of course, but I think I'm going to get another pair of seahorses and put most of them in a bigger tank so that it's not as crowded, because that could be part of it, that they're on top of each other, and then give the few that I leave in the all-in-one a minute to be alone. Do you think maybe that having the too many of them on top of each other is part of the problem, Ray? Or
It can be, but it depends on the particular seahorses themselves. I had someone that I sold seahorses to a long time ago now, and he couldn't get them to produce any fry. And he had 4, and I think it was a 55-gallon tank that he had. But I suggested to him, first of all, changing the lighting patterns, and then that didn't work. So I suggested trying temperature, try it up or down first, and then the opposite afterwards if you need to. The last thing, when he still wasn't getting anywhere, I suggested, well, take 2 seahorses out, put them in something else, and see what happens. Well, he wouldn't do that.
mm,
Well, I can't remember how much later now, but down the road a bit, he ended up with a problem in the tank, and he lost 2 seahorses. When he got things turned around, the 2 seahorses that were left started producing fry.
yep. See, I really am thinking that's it. You know, I was leaving them all in there hoping they'd pair up, and it did. It began to cause problems with, the water quality, just because we all know I'm lazy and I don't keep up like I should. But I mean, I could do more and keep the tank going as is forever, but I just feel like there's too many of them in there, and they don't have a chance to pair up because they're all on top of, they're tail wrestling constantly and all that stuff. And even when I see them dancing, I'll see it's odd, like it's not the same 2 all the time, right? It's like,
How
so
many
I'm
did you say you have in the 65?
in the 65. I've only got 2. They're from Ocean Rider. They don't pair up either, but they're
Yeah.
from Ocean Rider. I feel like they're from the same batch. I don't know. I mean, it's funny to me. It's seriously funny to me because so many people who go to get seahorses are like, how can I make sure they don't? Because they don't want fry. But here I am sitting here thinking, which my life's busy right now. I can't, maybe it's divine intervention
See,
Could
with
be.
because
this
I don't.
fellow, when he lost those 2 seahorses, if he had lost one of the ones that he did lose and lost one of the ones that he didn't lose, the other 2 may not have paired up.
Right.
Mhm.
If he got the right 2
Yep.
to leave in the tank. That they wouldn't do anything when there was others there, but they were the right 2 to do something when they were on their own.
And maybe after losing the tank mates, they were like, "Oh, we better reproduce." I don't know, but I get what you're saying, Ray. It totally depends on the situation and the seahorses. It's just like I said, it's so funny to me because I have never had any issues before. My seahorses bred right off the bat, I had fry too soon before I was ready for it. And, they just always gave me fry so much I couldn't even, handle it all because I had so many at one point. And now that I want fry, nothing. It's just frustrating. So I'm just trying different things. I'm just kind of like announcing that I'm going to try to pair them off. I've been saying it for a while, but now I'm actually going to put in the effort to set up another tank and then see how things go. Like I'll switch them around. And I do want to say for the record, we don't advise this, right? Because every single tank that you have, let me back up. So cross contamination is a big thing, right? I have different nets, different scrapers, different cleaning products for every single tank in my house. Because if something goes wrong in one tank and you're the type of person that's sticking your hand in each tank every time, guess what? You just spread that, bacteria and pathogens, they can come on a drop of water. So I'm very careful to wash my hands in between tanks and all of that good stuff. The only reason I'm even considering doing what I'm talking about is because of the fact that I've had these 7 for so long that,
Mhm.
I feel more confident. It's all about risk tolerance. And what am I willing to risk to get whatever I'm trying to do, right? So if with a brand new pair of seahorses, I'll probably keep them in a tank by themselves for a while, kind of like a observation quarantine, so to speak, just to make sure that they're good before mixing them with my other seahorses. And I will only buy from someone I trust and, count on. But then, even when I do start mixing them, I will still be very cautious and observant because you can, you know, again, the only reason I'm even considering this is because I've had them for so long and because I think that space will do them wonders in giving me fry. So I just wanted to do that disclaimer. Most people, if you're new, don't be tank swapping with seahorses and be careful to wash your hands in between each tank, wear gloves, whatever, have separate equipment because cross contamination is big. And Dan, I remember, used to say that all the time because he had those huge fry tubs and huge tanks and so many seahorses everywhere. And he was very careful not to ever, use something on a different tank because you get one go down, that's bad enough. You get them all go down, you can't, it's hard to recover. So just wanted to say that. But I'm in happy Thanksgiving, Robert King's Clownfish. We got to get you back in here. I think I sent you a message. I will after this episode. We got to get you back in here. We need to know what's new in your world. And hey, Fish Fam Link, thank you, Zen Ginger, for putting the spread shop link up. I appreciate that. But anyways, I'm just still frustrated, guys. Here it is, the holiday season, and I got no babies, right? So if your seahorses are throwing fry at you, feel free to brag in our Facebook group. I can be appreciative of your success and still, be as sad because mine's not going well. But I always love seeing that people are successful. So, anyways, I'm done rambling. Holly, you ready?
I am, yeah.
Show us some Christmas decorations.
Let's see. Okay, so here's the first one.
And we'll do some caroling, rocking around the Christmas tree at the Christmas party hop. Mistletoe hung where you can see every couple tries to stop. Rocking around the Christmas tree, let the Christmas spirit ring. Later we'll have some pumpkin pie and we'll do some caroling.
So there's the first ones. Let's see if I can find.
I love their little Christmas tree. That's great. Love it.
Yeah, so later on, Buddy adopted the Christmas tree. Those two ladies were the first to discover it, and then they were kind of fighting over it for a little bit. You saw there,
Yeah.
and then this is Buddy. So these seahorses are in the tiki tank, and then let's see, where's Dandy? There's Dandy. So Dandy
Too cute, too cute.
Yeah, so they just got their things today. I don't know, they probably don't remember them, but they seem to always enjoy them every time I add them. So this is, I think, the third year they've had them.
Ray, what are your thoughts? Do you think that seahorses can remember the decorations they had the year prior?
Nope.
No.
Yeah.
Silly
Just
question to ask me.
They just think that they're cool. They like I've always said, they like the little things, that are about their size, to hang on to. They seem to always like the little decorations for some reason.
well, yeah, it's something cool. They get to explore. My seahorses still are loving the saloon door that I copied off of you, Holly.
Oh yeah.
Love that thing.
They love to flirt with it. I found like one will sit on one side and one sits on the other side, and it's like a thing, like peeking at each other through the doors. I
Mm,
had Buddy and one of the ladies, I don't even know which lady it was sitting in the back of the saloon door and he was in the front. And he's sitting there flirting with her, like through the door. Like they can barely see each other. So I don't know if maybe it kind of makes them feel incognito or something. I don't know what it is, but they sure like that for some reason.
Yep, gotcha. And what did you say, Ray? Zen Ginger said Dandy really looked like he was adoring his tree. Yes,
He
absolutely.
really does. I did you see the way he tucked his little tail
Yep.
into it? And remember, Dandy has trouble moving around. He has issues with his motor skills. So it's always neat to see when he gets a hitch that he really likes, that he really enjoys. So yeah, he likes his little Christmas tree.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
just said that I like the Brenda Lee music better than that piano music.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Facebook does that. You can choose songs now for your videos.
oh, cool.
Yeah, so yeah, so
Well,
when I
Brenda Lee is in my
I
era.
can music.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, Holly, I need to get back into it. I know I've been a disappointment, you guys. I used to be so heavily invested into Facebook. I was in the groups. I was commenting all the time, and it's there's no excuses. Life's just been busy, but I really want to get back into it because there's some cool stuff you can do now, and I miss everybody. I really do. Hey, I have an off the wall question for you guys. Anybody out there or you guys? Do you know if pet stores will be open tomorrow on Thanksgiving?
I don't know. I kind of doubt it. That kind of store, because usually it's just like the grocery stores and like big places, but like Petco and PetSmart might, because
Is
they are
tomorrow your
pretty big.
Thanksgiving or Friday?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow's Thanksgiving.
Oh, I thought it was on Friday.
Here we
No,
go.
it's always a Thursday.
Yep, and I'm about to look it up. I wondered because I just realized my plans are going to fall through. It just dawned on me as we're live because I have to travel quite far to get frozen mysis because
Uh
there's
huh.
no in my area. And so
Yeah.
tomorrow I have to travel quite far to get to my relatives for Thanksgiving. Thank goodness I don't host because Lord, that'd be a mess. I wouldn't be talking to you guys right now. I'd be baking. But
Uh,
luckily, my sister-in-law does all that wonderful stuff, and she's amazing. And so I'm headed there tomorrow. And my plan was to number one stop to get more food because I'm running low, and also because, like we talked about last week, with my seahorses being real picky about food anymore, I
yeah.
want to get some supplies to up the flow and also clean the bottom of the glass really well. So now I'm stressing because I don't think they'll
Oh, Zen Ginger says they're closed where she lives.
see. And
Petco and PetSmart.
the two places I usually go to are Uncle Bill's and the Reef. There's a store
And
called the Reef.
see, that sounds like private owned,
Yeah.
so
Well, Uncle Bill's isn't, but
iffy. We have that out here. That must be a back east thing.
Let's ask Siri if she knows. Hey Siri, hey Siri, is Uncle Bill's open tomorrow on Thanksgiving? Here's what I found. Okay, she's stupid. She doesn't know anything.
Well, here's what I found. Nothing.
Right. Yeah.
While you're doing that, I'm looking for another. I had some really cute videos come up.
In your memories?
I can share. Yeah. I have baby seahorses. Speaking of baby seahorses, and I have Scrappy Doo was the lone survivor of his batch of seahorses. There was only 3, and he ended up being the only one that lived. So when his last sibling in his batch passed away, I put him in with the littles, which was Sadie's batch. So they were much bigger than him. So I have a video.
Okay. Well, while
Yeah.
you're
Here we
finding
go. I found it, so I can go ahead and share it while you're talking if you want.
Put it up and I'll share it in one sec. I just wanted to say Zen Ginger said Facebook is trying to keep up with TikTok and YouTube shorts. Right. And I literally saw the YouTube shorts and was like, oh wow, cool. And I tried TikTok. I'm just so much better at Facebook. I'm better at well, you guys have seen my videos. My how to set up a seahorse tank video is what, an hour long? I have a hard time putting a bunch of information or a bunch
in
of
a little
stuff in a 5-second thing or even a 30-second thing. I need to get better at it. I know the attention span of kids today are no. So I'm trying. I'm working on it. But I'm totally with you. Zen Ginger, you said they're closed too. That sucks.
Yeah.
Guess I'm gonna have to revamp my plan. And it's such a bummer because I actually got Thanksgiving off work. I thought I was gonna have all this time. I was gonna go do the family thing, and of course 2 family things. And then I was gonna stop at the store and have time with the Seahorse tank. Apparently not, but we'll see. If the Uncle Bill's is in. It says Fishers when you look it up, but it's actually Noblesville. If that helps, look it up for me, Zen. Let me know. All right, go ahead and share, Holly. Sorry.
All righty. So there we go. Don't need sound here, but yeah, look how tiny he was compared to them.
That's so funny. And I mean, I think I remember like he got right up in their faces.
Yeah, see how he comes right up. He's looking at him. He says, wow, you're big.
Too cute.
But yeah, he was so curious about all the big seahorses.
Dan, that'll go. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Oh, okay. So that'll be the weird thing for me too, is every time, because I told you guys my plan is to kind of split off the seahorses, give them more room, and maybe add in another pair after observing them in quarantine for a while. But every time, oh, sorry, I forgot my video here. Let me turn that back on. Every time I get a new pair of seahorses, I'm shocked at how little they are. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, they're only a few inches. I know when your seahorses are older, and they get bigger,
well, it's hard to believe.
The young adults are a lot smaller.
It's hard to believe they've grown so much. And that's
because it's so slow. You don't notice them growing really.
Right.
But then a younger one comes along and it's a big difference.
Well, and it depends on how they're being sold. If you go with a respectable breeder or a place that you trust, you're going to get seahorses that are, 3.5, 4 inches at least. But one of the things that I try to make clear in the video about setting up seahorses is that's the part that people don't understand. And that's honestly another reason why I'm splitting them off from the all-in-one is they get really big. I mean, and then all of a sudden the cute little guys, 3-4 inches that you put into the tank are 7-8 inches, up to 12, up to 14 inch. I mean, they can get
Yeah.
really big, and then all of a sudden it's like they're the whole tank and they need more room. They really do.
Yeah.
It's always
One
better.
thing I noticed with Scrappy Doo, he grew really fast. Once I put him in with bigger seahorses, he grew fast. And
And
he got really big. He was one of my biggest seahorses in the end, but I think moving in with the bigger seahorses inspired him to grow faster because he grew faster than any of my other seahorses did.
I think that was just coincidence. I think he
Just
was,
luck,
no
huh?
matter where he was, he'd grow faster.
you don't. Well, I mean, I know that a lot of breeders use that as a method to get seahorses eating frozen mysis too. Like I know
Hmm.
it's again risk tolerance, right? Do you want to mix tanks? You really should avoid
Hmm.
that, right? But if you're in a case where you have fry or a couple fry or whatever that won't eat, I've heard a lot of times. Cheryl's even said it where they'll put them in with bigger seahorses that are already eating, and they
Hmm.
start eating.
Well,
So
Hmm.
you can get them on, getting them on frozen. That's one thing, but that's only a short stage. Once they're onto the frozen, like if they get on it 2 weeks later or something, it's not going to have anything to do with the size that they end up with. If uh, like when I was doing the re-dye, especially, um, I'd feed them all at the same time, and um, there were always some that would get bigger than others, some that would be just a medium size, and they're always runts. And I think it's given the same food all the time. Any other variation is due to genetics.
gotcha. Sorry, my thing was that I saw. I'm so sorry, Ray. I was half listening. Zen said that the reef would be open tomorrow, so I got excited. Sorry. And I was
Yeah.
but but yeah, no, I get it. And I mean, it's just like humans. Like you could say, there's so many debates and scientific stuff saying if you put people in certain situations, this will happen to them. But would that have happened anyways? Especially when it comes to like height, weight, all that stuff. I get that, whatever. But I also think that a little teeny seahorse that gets put in with big seahorses might start eating more, maybe grow faster.
I think he did. Now he was already eating frozen when I added him. He'd learned to eat frozen, but when he was in the group with all of them, he was more gung ho about it.
Sure. Well, and that's
So still genetics making them eat more.
Hmm.
yeah. And well, I don't know about that. I don't know. I really don't have an answer to it. I just think that you're both right. That he probably grew faster. Maybe he would have gotten to the same height, weight that he got to no matter what, because that it was
Hmm.
predispositioned. But maybe it happened faster because he was in with the bigger. Something happens when they get in with bigger seahorses. They do kind of seem to want to prove
Hmm.
themselves. And I
Well,
don't
and
know.
the fact that he wasn't alone
Yeah,
anymore, because that's why I put him in with the other ones because he was the only survivor.
right.
So even though he was so small, I'm like, well, I'm going to put him in a group so he's not by himself and he'll sink or swim. He'll learn or he won't. And he fit
Learn.
in right away.
Ray, I'm curious because that's a question we've had before. A lot of times people will just keep a pair of seahorses and then something goes wrong, sadly, and one of them is lost and the other one remains. And people always ask, is that okay? Is it okay to have a seahorse by themselves because they just seem less active? They don't, do much because there's not another seahorse that they're, you know, interacting with. Have you ever had a seahorse in a tank by itself?
Yeah,
And oh yes, you have, Doug. I knew
yeah.
that.
That last ab there was in a
Yeah.
tank by itself for probably 8 months.
So I mean, it's they obviously you can do it. But did he seem less active to you? And
Yeah,
yeah,
the best active, and that's the one that I put those fake seahorses in too, that actually look like they really look like Redeye, really authentic looking.
and did he flirt with them and stuff? I can't remember. I'm sorry.
He would hitch to them now and then, but I never noticed that he took an interest in them as being a seahorse.
So he was smart enough to know this thing's not moving, even though it looks
I,
pretty. It's not.
yeah, I think he knew that.
Mhm.
Well, and we've had the debate before about whether a seahorse in a tank sees out and sees us, and obviously they do see us. But I swear I've got a TikTok video. In fact, go check out Seahorse Whisperer on TikTok, where I show, and I titled it Self Love, because this seahorse is staring right at his reflection. And that's due to lighting, right? I'm not saying they can't see out, but Dan has argued with me forever that they never see their reflection. And I just don't believe it, because he was dancing to his reflection and showing off and looking at himself doing it. Go watch the video. But they always say also, if your seahorse is alone, to put up a mirror or to put up something outside the tank that looks like it. But I think that would be the same deal, wouldn't you? Right?
I
Like,
tried it. I tried that too.
didn't work, huh?
Not for me, but I've been told by others that it worked for them. So
Well, I just think, what I'm talking about, the activity wouldn't change. I mean, yes, we're all about making the seahorse happy. I get it, making sure that they're, not sad or depressed or whatever we want to say it's called. But they, like, I've never had a tank of seahorses that weren't all over each other, right?
Mhm.
Scratch that. The Barbori were not, unless they were courting. When they were courting, they were all over each other. Otherwise, they kind of had their spaces. My bachelor tank also, they kind of kept their distance. But in general, I go over to the tank right now. I guarantee you, if I walked over there to take a video right now, one of them would be hitched to the other. I get mad at them sometimes. I will take my turkey baster and be like, "Get off of her," because I don't hurt them, guys. But if they're trying to eat or whatever, or the other one's trying to jump in the middle, I'm like, "Go away!" But
I
hey,
have to do that with Sadie sometimes because she's such a pig. Sometimes she'll invade Dandy's dish.
mm-hmm,
And the thing is, she has a choice of places to eat. She has a feeding station up high that he can't get to.
mm-hmm.
And she'll eat there, but then she'll go check out his dish and what's going on over there. And he doesn't have a choice to go to all the dishes. And he'll sometimes they'll eat peacefully together, and they enjoy each other's company. But other times he gets frustrated that she's trying to take his food, and then he'll get all huffy and the food will scatter everywhere, or she'll come and sit like right on top of the food in the dish.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I'll use the turkey baster sometimes to gently nudge her along, like let Dandy eat his meal. Go somewhere else. Go eat your food.
Mine. I don't even know if you guys could hear that, but
Oh,
I
I
was.
lost your sound.
You can't hear me now.
I can now, but whatever you were doing earlier, I couldn't hear that.
Gotcha. Sorry. Okay. No, I was trying. I looked up. So just to show you guys, you can look with me as I look, because then very thankful. Zen, you're amazing, by the way. Posted the TikTok that I did set up. I wanted to see if I could find that video. Maybe it was on Instagram, but because I didn't see it. But let me see if I can look real quick, because I just learned how I could share again. So here we go. Can you guys see what I'm looking at?
I could see your whole computer screen. Yeah.
Can you see the TikTok though?
I can see a bunch of videos.
Yes. So
So you choose the one and then we'll see it once you pick
gotcha.
it.
So I was just showing you guys that there is a Seahorse Whisperer TikTok. I tried. I don't. Oh, here we go. Self-love. Are you seeing it big now?
Yeah. It's cute.
I mean,
Sadie does that. I think they can see their reflection in if the circumstances are right.
wait, did you just see that? He missed it.
Yeah.
Let's go back. Or I don't know how to go back. Let's see if it restarts. But he snicks the window or the mirror or the tank.
Yeah. And like in my tanks, it is kind of a mirror like situation because I use a silver insulation wrap around three sides of the tank. So that does kind of create a mirror. And Sadie has a corner by the char chamber where she likes to dance like that. And
Yep.
I think she can see herself there a little bit.
Yep. That was just that was interesting when he snicked it. You know.
Yeah. I think if the circumstances are right, they can see a reflection.
Right. I don't
Like
think
we can, like in
yeah.
right now, it's dark outside and I have big windows. See, you can see reflection.
Yeah.
And I think our tanks are like that too for them. Like if the lighting circumstances are right, or like me, you have silver um wrap around them, then yeah, it's creating a reflection.
Oh, thank you, Zen, for adding the TikTok on Fish Fam link. I got to get back on there and do more. And young Rector said, I have a few female seahorses that do that self-love. Okay. All right. Not going to ask for any details on that one, but
I think they're practicing. That's what I've always thought.
you mean like two females dancing together and stuff, or you mean in the mirror?
Yeah, I think they're just practicing by themselves. Just
But
because they like to dance. That's their thing.
Yes, I agree. But again, we're going to watch it one more time because I think it's so interesting the part where he snicks. I never noticed that until I was just watching it. And that really makes me crazy. Hang on. Let's see if I can share. I think it's just going to show my whole computer every time. And I can't fix it. Anyways,
Yeah.
here we go. All right. So, but yeah. Can you guys hear the music, by the way? Or no? Can you hear the music?
No.
Okay. There's music if you go on TikTok. But that
Yeah.
crazy.
He gave it a stick.
And okay, so guys, obviously these are better with the music. The music kind of makes it because some of these are funny. Like it doesn't make sense just to watch it here. But all sorts of videos. Cowboy baby. Always all right. I'm playing TikToks here. You guys can't hear them anyways, and I'm screaming because I can hear them. All right.
You have some of my same plants.
Yeah, well, and that was the big 90-gallon SCA tank that I had all the adolescents in. I only got a few of them in that video, but there was like 30 to 50 seahorses that big in that tank. It was nuts. It was absolutely nuts. Hey, Regina. Hey, Patrick. Okay. Hey, Regina. Happy Thanksgiving. Anyways. But yeah, I don't even know where I was going with that. It was just that cool TikToks. And yeah, I think they can see the reflection at sometimes. I'm doing this wrong. Hang on. Here we go. All right, there we go. Get rid of that. We don't want people being mean in here. But yeah. So interestingly, Ray, you would just say all seahorses act differently, and you don't give a shit if they're looking at themselves or not, right? I mean, that's the bottom line.
What was that? I don't what?
Nothing. I was kind of kidding. I said you just think we're all crazy for even worrying about whether they're dancing with themselves or can see their reflection because you just let them be seen.
Well, it's a case. It's each person has the things about the hobby that interest them no most. Now, if everybody liked the same species, for instance, or if everybody liked all females or everybody liked all males or something, things would be different. But everybody is different and they have different things. It's like, I don't like a bare bottom tank, but I keep it that way because it makes it easier for me.
Mhm.
There's other people that they don't like a bare bottom tank either, and there's no way they'd ever have a bare bottom tank.
Right. Right.
You know, it's everybody has their own thoughts on the hobby and what they want to get out of the hobby. And if you don't aim for what you want to get out of it, what's the point of being in it?
Right. No.
So if you like to name your seahorses, or you want to, you pay more attention to them doing certain activities than what I might, then go for it.
if it makes you happy, right? And I
That's right.
agree. And that's why,
It's a hobby, not a career.
and again, not trying to make excuses, guys, but that's why it's so hard to actually do a website because every single question you've seen us on this channel, on the groups everywhere, every single question, there's multiple answers, and I want the answers to come from sound advice from experts, and that's who I go to try to write these articles and do these videos. But bottom line is you could still do it differently and be successful. So it's hard to say this is, you don't have to have bare bottom. You don't have, like Ray just said. So it's difficult, but still trying. But I totally agree with you, Ray, and you gotta love it. And man, that's why I want the babies again, is just because I really love seahorses. By the way, y'all.
At least they don't grow up to be 16-year-olds.
Right.
Right.
And I was gonna say my pumpkin, in case you guys didn't see it, I still don't have it, still at work, but everybody loved the pumpkin. And I got to tell people, because go back and look at my post or my video if you didn't see it, but basically I did this pumpkin in a reef theme, and yes, seahorses were the main side of it, right? But then you turn it, and I had a clownfish with an anemone. I had a pistol shrimp with his Watchman goby. I had all these different things and was able to explain, the symbiotic relationships. It was really cool. It was really getting.
That was a really cool pumpkin.
Because people still don't even realize you can keep seahorses in a tank, or think it's bad or whatever. So I got to have these conversations with people and kind of not educate, but share. It was really fun. So don't be afraid to do a pumpkin or whatever and share in that way, because it ends up being a conversation starter, right? I don't have that. Okay. But anyways, all right. What else, you guys? Because now those 16-year-olds are home and they're going to be noisy.
So I was going to say that Sadie, I noticed it's not just reflection thing. She's been dancing with the char chamber.
Yes.
She's got a thing for the char chamber, and she dances with it and around it and hitches on it and sits in the bubbles, and it's her friend. She treats it like a friend.
Yep.
She dances for it, and I don't know.
She
likes it.
I already mentioned that I need to post more pictures and videos, but I'm telling you guys that my seahorses to this day in that tank where I have the char chamber, I'm so glad that I put it up into the tank instead of in one of the all-in-one compartments in the back, because they fight over it, and at least two of them sleep in the bubbles every single night. I mean, I bet. I mean, if I walked over there right now, I guarantee they're on it. And we're going to have Robert King. He was in the comments earlier. I'm straight to go, but he's going to come back on the channel and tell us what's new. I know he was working on a new char, and I'm sure he's made expansion to the business in the char chambers. But I agree with you, Holly. The Seahorses just like them. It's weird.
What's
Like,
funny is in my other tank, they don't pay attention to them. In the
really?
tiki tank, they really don't. I don't know if it's because it's so much more space for fewer seahorses, or
Wait,
but they don't.
wait. Which tank has more space? The one where they pay attention to the chamber or not?
No, the other one. The 55-gallon has Dandy and Sadie in it.
Okay.
So Sadie loves that char chamber. Dandy doesn't really care that much about it.
Okay.
In the tiki tank, I have two char chambers. It's a 75-gallon, so I have a 40-gallon size on each side of the tank, in each corner in the back. And there's 4 seahorses in that tank. And they've never
Here.
taken an interest in the char chamber. The only time they really want to hang out with it is during cleaning time, because they know that stays in the tank. So some of them will go behind it, and hide or hang on to it while I'm cleaning. But other than that, I rarely see them sitting with the char chambers. Not like Sadie, who hangs out with it quite a bit.
Well,
So I don't know.
Ray, you would say that it's just different seahorse personalities, right? I mean,
Mhm.
Yep.
yeah.
That's kind of my take on it. But yeah, some of them sure. It's just like the bubbles. Some of them like to sit in the bubblers, and some of them don't care about it.
Well, I'm glad you made that.
Put an open-ended airline in, and some seahorses are going to be in it all the time, and others won't.
I'm
Mhm.
glad you guys made these points though, because if you're someone watching this channel, and we don't ever recommend anything like products, but we'll tell you what's working for our tanks in
Mhm.
the reasons. Like, we're not just putting char chambers in the tank, for the bubbles and them fighting over. There are other reasons, which we'll cover again when Robert King comes in, that help the clarity of the tank and keeping the filtration intact. But if you happen to get one and in your tank your seahorses pay no attention to it, that doesn't mean there's something wrong with your seahorses, right? It just means that they have a different thing that they fancy, right?
Mhm.
In my tank, in fact, it's funny now that you say it, because Aphrodite doesn't ever go near the chart chamber. It's the
Mhm.
4 other ones that are constantly fighting
Yeah.
over. She likes to stay low in the tank. She
Mhm.
prefers to be low around the rocks, whereas the other 4, I find them constantly hitched to floating fake
Same.
plants,
Mhm.
and they like to be up high, and then they like the bubbles. So personality, I
Mhm.
guess. But I still like what it's doing for my tank. And again, we'll get
Yep.
Rob back in here to talk about what it's doing for the tank. And it's funny. I'm gonna post a video, guys. I'm gonna go take one as soon as we're done, because they fight over that area to sleep. They love it, being hitched to that airline and bubbles going up their butts. That's where they want to be. I don't
Mhm.
know, but Young's Rector asked, "Are they expensive char chamber?" To be honest, again, we're going to have Robert King in here to talk more about it. His page, then, if you're still here, put up Robert's links for Robert King clownfish or char chamber. But he's in the clownfish business. He's not even a seahorse person. But we kind of stole this for our tanks because it has done so much, as far as it's a chemical and a biological media within the chamber, and the chamber itself just looks like a sponge filter or whatnot. But the seahorses, mine at least, seem to love it, and it's providing aeration through bubbles. So it's much deeper than that. I'm giving a basic overview. But to answer your question about the expense, nothing's cheap in this hobby anymore. You know that. But this Robert King will work with people, and it really does depend on your tank. For instance, he has one that's rated for a 10-gallon, Do you remember the prices, Holly? I really don't. To be
I
completely
want to I want to say mine was around $50, and that's for a 40-gallon size,
okay. All right. So
I believe.
yeah, don't
It's been a long time, but roughly I think it's in that neighborhood. It didn't seem expensive to me
right.
for
What
comparing to other stuff you get. Like you said, the aquarium hobby is expensive. Nothing's
right.
cheap. But yeah, they weren't overly expensive for what they are, I didn't think.
Right. So we're gonna again have him in here. I'll lock down the date and let you guys know to explain a little bit more about the benefits and what it does and all that. I gave a basic overview. Holly doesn't think they're expensive. I think everything's expensive, to be real with you. But
Mhm.
these weren't
It's
ridiculous.
relative.
And the thing is, he's very nice about the fact that he will communicate with you. And I know that who was it that he made the specialized ones for? It was the Sea Shed, Heather. I'm pretty sure it was Heather that. Don't quote me again. I got a lot of things going on. But if you contact him and you say, okay, you've got a 10-gallon rated and a 40-gallon rated chamber for people, but my tank is 100 gallons. So I don't want to have to buy 3 of them or whatever. He will make you one that's
Yeah,
rated
mine were made for me.
right. And
The
Cheryl, I know
tiki
she
one.
was able, she got one, she won one in a contest here on this channel. And she extended it on her own. If you're savvy like that, you can. I'm not. So I'm like, you
Mhm.
guys do it, I'll pay. But there's some different options. And thank you, Zen, for putting them up. But yeah, I would not say they're expensive for the amount of things they do. Because especially in a seahorse, well, it sounds like you have seahorses already. Got your seahorses doing that self love. Um, and I'd love to learn more. I'd love to get to know you and your seahorses. Definitely contact me or come on into the show anytime you want. But Ray, you said char chambers like using carbon reactors so it lowers the dissolved organics, right?
Yep.
What do you,
So it's a good thing, especially if you don't have a skimmer.
yep. And we're not trying to say that this would be a replacement for a skimmer. I still think every seahorse tank needs a skimmer. My opinion, based on what others have said and done in the past, and it's always helped me. But as we've added this Robert King chamber, it's the clarity when you first add it is ridiculous. I mean, the tank is all of a sudden shoo, clear. Then, of course, things happen. The media gets older, but as Ray said, it's helping with it lowers dissolved organics. And then the whole thing about this product is that you're supposed to literally leave some and add new, so you get that chemical reaction again. But the stuff that you leave ends up acting like a bio media. So it's just a cool new thing, and it's not expensive, and us seahorse people have liked it so far. I've never tried. You know what I want to try really badly? If I can ever, if I ever have money to blow, which will be never. But have you seen the things that look like toilet paper rollers? Do you guys know what I'm talking? I bet Zen Ginger knows what I'm talking about. What are they called? I'm about to Google it. They look. I saw them at a MACNA when they first came out years ago, and now they're like a popular thing. Holly, you guys don't know what I'm talking about? They're
What?
called.
No,
They're,
if I can't make it, I don't have it.
I know, Ray, and I wish I was more like you. I wish I could make. Cheryl's the same way, making her own sumps, and so I wish I could do that. I just,
So what was it? I kind of missed it. My brother was messaging me at the moment. So what was it you saw?
So first, I wanted to respond to Ray and say the one time I tried to plumb and set up the 90-gallon with the sump, it leaked and I had a disaster. So I'm terrified of DIY. But that's
That's
just.
my luck.
But Holly, it looks like a toilet paper roll. It's a new filtration thing. It's not new anymore.
Oh, you mean the thing that it has like a filter fiber that rotates. It's like paper. Looks
Uh,
like I know what you're talking about.
she said roller mats. That's not what it looked like, at least at Magna. Maybe that's how they look now.
I think that is what it is.
It reminded me of a toilet paper roll. That's what
Yes.
I
I know
mean.
what you're talking about.
I
Yeah.
really want to try that because the guy that I spoke to at Magna, of course, he was a salesperson
Mhm.
for the company, but he went, I don't remember half the stuff he said, so don't ask. But I just remember when he was telling me about it, I was like, oh my gosh, that would be incredible for a Seahorse tank because we care about like our socks being a certain micron because we got to get out the particulate matter in addition to the
Uh-huh.
organic. So, fleece rollers, she said. Let's see. Fleece rollers.
Reef mat, roller mat, bulk reef supply has them. Looks
And
like
again, guys, the one that I saw,
roller mat and fleece.
I bet that this is it. But I'm guessing the reason it doesn't look like what I remember is because this was years ago. So it was probably the first
A
edition.
filter roller. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them in here. I'm seeing. I just Googled it.
Hang on, I'll see if I can post a picture for you guys that are like, what the hell are they talking about? Hang on.
Tank roller mat filter.
Fleece roller. So this is it. And I don't know, like, I'm not selling them, so I can't tell you the reasoning behind them. Hang on. Let me get this down. Let me share this. All right. And then we'll go over here. Hang on, I'm getting there. Oh, I can't get there. All right. So can you guys see
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, that's
So
what
see
I
how
had.
it
Yeah.
looks like toilet paper.
Yeah.
It does. And the one that they had at the Magna that I saw was more like this, like very,
Just the roll. Yeah.
yeah. And it was, yeah, like, well, it was something like this. Anyways, I just have heard that they're like, yeah, it was more like this, where it looked like two toilet paper rolls. And I was like, wait, what? And it's something about how, like, we need to get someone in here to explain it so I don't, fudge it up. But it's something about how it rolls that gives you like double the filtration or something. Do you know
Mhm.
anything about them, Holly? Not really.
No, not really. I
Okay.
mean, I've seen them, but it's not something that I ever considered getting. For one thing, the price of them is just really high
Well,
generally.
yeah, no, I was doing this to say if anybody was wondering what I wanted for Christmas. No, no, I'm kidding.
Yeah, give me a $400 police
Right.
roller mat.
And see, when I met the guy at Magna, they weren't that much. So I don't know how they've expanded, but yeah. Anyways,
Yeah, I'm looking at them online. Yeah, they're like $300 roughly. The
well,
ones I'm
it's always
seeing, $200, $300.
it's just always interesting to me because so many new products come out and you're like, that'd be interesting to try or whatever, but it's so expensive. So the Robert King Chamber is something that's not crazy expensive.
It's not a
And
few $100.
right, and Seahorse keepers, we're a tight knit group, right? So if it really was like just crap, you'd already know it because nobody's gonna let that fly. Whereas, like, we do have differences of opinion at times, like about bacterias and probiotics and things like that. Some things work for some people, some things don't. But when it comes to, actual physical stuff, usually, Ray of anyone would call it out, which Ray doesn't have one, so he's in Canada, whatever. But Cheryl would definitely call it out if it was nothing good.
So it
If I thought I
doesn't
needed it, I
describe
still,
how it works. I can read to you how it works because I found a description of it.
All right, real quick. Hi, Vincent, by the way. Go ahead.
So it says leaving clogged filter socks in your system for too long increases the chance for food and waste to decay within the filter sock if the sock is
Oh,
not
nice.
removed every few days.
Time out. That's what Ray always says. If a
Mhm.
snail's eating stuff and then pooping, it's still in the tank. If you have a filter sock sitting there with crap in it, it's still in the water. Yes. Okay, go ahead.
So
Sorry.
the AF1 eliminates this chance, automatically removing this waste from your water column before it has time to break down. The AF1 is fed water through its 1.5-inch inlet, directly entering its internal chamber, then filtered through the exposed fleece. As water passes, the filter fleece begins to clog with detritus, uneaten food, organic waste, etc. The water will rise within the AF1's chamber, triggering the water level switch for the motor to wind on the filter roll to a new fresh piece. The water level will then drop, and the process will repeat itself until the roll is near its end.
But what happens
Then
to the used parts of the roll? That made
it
sense.
goes on the roll that's out of the water, I think.
Oh, so it's no
That's
longer
rolls
water.
onto another roll. That's why you see how they have like two rolls.
So I'm curious what Ray thinks about this, because this would kind of eliminate that, filter sock with crap sitting in it.
Well, if you can afford it, then it's a good thing for lazy people.
Okay. Okay.
If you're not that lazy, then
Build it.
it's a lot more economical to use a regular filter and then clean it twice a week.
Right. Do you think you could actually build some? Because I like the premise.
Yes, you could build it.
What?
Yes, you can build
That's
it.
what I'm saying is I would love to know, figure that out, because that is really a genius idea. You're getting the stuff out of the tank. It's like having a scrubber that someone else is cleaning, right? I don't know.
The problem though is unless you have, like when I build something, I make use for the most part of things that I have because I'm a pack rat.
Right.
My house, I've been here in this house for 47 years and I never throw anything out. So there are times when I'm looking around and I can use that, and it's something that maybe I've had here for 35 years and I've never needed it. So that helps a lot if you have things like that. It also helps if you know where to access things, like the type of switching that you're going to have to use for turning this thing on to temporarily move and spool up. You also have to find a source for that fleece, or find something else that will work like it.
Yep.
Like there's a lot of things that you can do. And something else that you might want to consider if you don't want to roll something like that, get a material that as it rolls around, you can have it going very, very slow, gear it down to go real slow. As it goes around, you'll get up to, say, the top out of the water, and you'll have a knife edge that's not going to cut the material, but in there, so that as it rolls around, it's going to scrape that crap off. It won't get every little bit of it, but it'll get the majority of it. And that stuff will then roll off into a container with some water in it that isn't associated with the tank.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of different variables that you can take that idea and make it work.
Gotcha.
And for me, I might have trouble finding some of the parts at a reasonable price, which would make it expensive for me to make even. So, and if it's too expensive for me to make an individual one, then either I would buy one that's already made if it's going to cost me as much anyway, or I would find a way to make something that is cheaper that's going to do the job anyway.
Well, anybody out there who is DIY inclined, maybe I need to go to another MACNA and hit up Joey, the DIY guy, because I'm not him. But anyways, I was just going to say.
I suspect also that it's a means to sell more fleece all the time, repetitive sales for fleece.
Well, I don't know. Why? Why?
Yeah, they come in rolls. Yeah, you buy a replacement roll when it runs out.
But I mean,
there's all sorts of things. But there's all sorts of things that they sell you for a certain price, and the real money maker for that product is in the refills that are needed to sustain it, whatever it's doing.
I get, and fleece is expensive. Like I don't know what.
No idea.
Here's one for an all-in-one. Up, I guess you can't see it; it's too bright for. But they make them for all-in-ones too.
Oh, Christmas, guys.
It's $80 for that one.
Maybe I'll $80 isn't that bad. Maybe I'll try it.
And the replacement rolls look like they run around $20, $30.
How often do you have to replace it though? See, we need, if anybody knows anybody in the industry that's selling these, I'll reach out to my contacts. I'd love to get somebody in here to talk to us about it, because I think, as Ray said, there's ways you could get around it, figure it out yourself, blah, blah, blah. But for lazy people like me, which most of us in the aquarium industry aren't lazy, I'm not accusing, but I'm just saying we want stuff to work, and we're typically willing to pay for it to work, right? And so this seems like a really genius idea to me. I've thought about it for years since I met that guy at Macna, and I would love to try something similar. And if they've got one for an all-in-one, I may try it. And I'd love to get someone in here to talk. So if you know somebody, tell them we'd be happy to have them in to talk to us. But yeah, how often do you have to replace it, Holly? Does it say?
I'm reading people's reviews of it, so I haven't found that yet. But I did see the roll it comes with is like 80 feet.
And Zen said, I wonder if Mark Levinson makes anything similar. I bet you he does. It's been a minute since I talked to Mark, but I will reach out to him because.
Oh, somebody says theirs lasted about 3 months before they had to replace the fleece.
That's not bad to me. I literally just had, and especially for an all-in-one, because you guys, that's the one thing that I have realized with the all-in-one is that, as Ray said earlier, it's nice, when you're an enthusiast or a hobbyist and you have stuff already, right? Like Cheryl talks about having, excess pumps so that if one dies, she has another. And if you had multiple tanks, you're in that situation. If you were in freshwater, you don't have to buy everything because you usually have some stuff that will cross over. In an all-in-one, it all has to be specific to the tank. The holes are a certain size. You can't just shove a sock in there because stuff's going down the sides, right? So I just had
a skimmer in an all-in-one. People think, well, it's got a skimmer. It's a great thing. Well, skimmer is useless in an all-in-one.
Why do you think
so this may be too. See, for the size that they're going to have to make this to fit an all-in-one, it's not going to be as effective as if you're using a sump and have a proper sized one. So we have the same scenario as we do with a skimmer.
I do that. Sorry. Go ahead.
So I would basically do a lot of investigation before I wasted any money on putting one in an all-in-one.
Well,
I got to go get more bacon out of the oven.
Well, I had a question for you, Ray. Go ahead. But no, I agree with what he said, and that's why I'm offering to do it myself. I'm not advising anyone out there to go get one for their all-in-one. I'm saying maybe I will try it and let you guys know how it goes. And I'll always be honest if it doesn't work. And of
People
course,
seem really happy with it.
Hang on. The thing is, it is subjective, right? We've had this conversation too many times. You talk about probiotics. Ray's going to tell you, I never noticed any different. I wouldn't use it. Dan would tell you it makes every difference. You don't see it, but it does. Who's right? Whereas, with certain equipment, it's subjective. A lot of times the things that we need to happen in an aquarium aren't visually seen. So it's hard to say, oh, you're going to see this huge difference when you use this. No, but maybe you don't have a problem that you would have had, if that makes sense. Ray, I wanted to ask you real quick, why do you say that an all-in-one skimmer will never be good?
It can't remove enough. It's too small.
So even if, like, for instance, we always recommend in a Seahorse tank to get the biggest skimmer you can. I mean, 2-3 times the rating. And
personally, I'd say 4 times is a minimum.
Okay. I mean, there you go. And I do. In my tanks with sumps, I have really big skimmers, and it does really help. I'm not disagreeing. That is the way to go. But if you're in an apartment or whatever, and you're trying to just keep a pair of Seahorses in a 40-gallon all-in-one, and you get a skimmer that's rated 60 gallons, that's at least time and a half. I'm not saying you're wrong, because you're right. It's not good enough, but it's doing something. And what I'm trying to figure out for people that can only keep an all-in-one, I don't ever want them to think they can't keep Seahorses, because they can. So I'm trying to figure out the best equipment to put in the tank, like a 60-gallon rated skimmer, and a Robert King char chamber, and maybe a roller is better than 2 socks and a bag of char or whatever. I'm just trying to find the best way possible for people that are in that boat. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm looking at the roller that would go in a sump, one of them. It's called AF1, automatic filter roller. And everyone really likes it. It got really good reviews. It's a 5-star product. People are talking about after using it, they would not go back to filter socks. The
Wow.
only real complaints that I'm seeing is for the filter rolls being out of stock sometimes.
Gotcha. Yeah, that would suck, because what would you do then? Which I was in the same circumstance. I had to find a specialized company just to get replacement socks for the stupid all-in-one,
Oh, yeah.
because they're a horseshoe shaped.
I remember you saying that they're different. Yeah.
And if you stick a round one in there, water and stuff is going to go right past it. So I literally just had to replace my socks finally. They're beyond bleaching. They're beyond bleaching. I'll just say that much. They are holed up, literal holes in them, stretched apart, too thin, not working. And I had to pay extra to get them special from a certain company, because they weren't just on Amazon, So
Now, for the all-in-one version, I'm looking at that now, and it's manual. So you have to turn it to expose new fleece. So to me, I might as well change filter socks.
Right. Bummer. Which I want, I know you read it, Holly, but I'd have to look at it myself and really think about it when I'm not live. But I don't understand how the sump one works anyways. Does it have a pump? Is that, like you said, something about the water level?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that one was automatic. So it was electronic, I think, which means it automatically rolls itself. You don't have to get in there and turn it.
But
it'll have to have something to move the water through it.
right,
Yeah, well, it goes through, it's gravity fed, kind of like putting water through a filter sock, was what I read. It doesn't fit where the filter sock goes, but you put it under where your overflow is, so it goes through it just like it would on your filter sock.
And that makes it spin?
And it's a chamber, so it goes into the chamber and does its thing.
I'll have to look at it.
I don't understand it myself, but it's a box.
Yeah.
The water goes in and out of it.
Right.
And somehow it automatically rolls itself, that one.
I'll look into it, guys. I know you would rather us come on here and already know what we're talking about, but hey, sometimes we're investigating too. So if you know more about it, reach out to me.
It has a motor, it says. So the motor causes it to turn, but I don't.
It was just something I remembered seeing at Magna, and I've thought about multiple times. Like, it just seemed like a really good idea. Maybe we'll explore it more, maybe get somebody in here. Maybe one of us will come up with something similar with the same theory involved, because it's a good idea. Because the whole problem with filter socks is having to change them so often.
Oh, I see how it does it. Okay, so the water level rises as the fleece begins to clog. So the water level inside it, as it clogs, is getting fuller, and it triggers a switch to turn on the motor and roll it. So with the water, it says will rise within the AF1's chamber, triggering the water level switch for the motor to wind on the filter roll to a new fresh piece. So when the water rises to a certain spot, it triggers the motor to turn on and roll the fleece.
I
The
get
water
you.
rises because it's getting clogged.
I get it.
Like I said, if you're rich and you're lazy, go for it.
Yeah.
I'm lazy and not rich, Ray. So what if I buy you the materials and you make it for me? I'm just kidding.
And you do what Holly and I do. You buy the Hagen quick filters, and instead of using their own quick filter, you use those scrub pads that I use,
Mhm.
and you change them twice a week.
Yep. Gotcha. Find another way around it. I get
And
it.
I'll tell you, my filter socks, I change every day. It's just habit. And it's easy
Yeah.
to do because I do that and empty my skimmer cup every morning while the seahorses are having their breakfast. It's just part of my daily maintenance. And while they're eating, I'm changing their sock and their skimmer cup.
So how many filter socks do you have to be able to do that?
I want to say now, I probably have more than 15. I used to have 15. I want to say I have 20 probably now because I bought some more and I pulled some out. Basically, I have a little more on hand than a week's worth for both tanks.
Okay.
That would be 14 socks. I wash their socks once a week.
That's
So
so
I have a bucket in my laundry room, and every day when I pull the dirty socks, I put them in that bucket. And when I'm down to 3 pairs of socks in my sock drawer, then I wash the socks that are in the laundry room and hang them out to dry and put them back in the drawer.
first of all, it's hilarious that you have a Seahorse sock drawer. But also, oh shit, again. Also, I was gonna say, how much did they cost you to buy the socks? Do you remember?
Well, I just bought some. I hadn't bought socks in years, and I just bought what? How many did I get? I got 10 socks, so 5 pairs of socks. They were on sale at BRS. Mm,
Well, it's not that important. I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I
I
just
don't remember offhand. They're not cheap. Here we go. Filter socks. Da, da, da.
Listen, I have to go now. I cooked up 5 pounds of bacon in the oven. Now I got to get it packaged and frozen before the bacteria get there.
Oh, now I want to come over.
hey,
I always do the bacon in large batches.
what are you doing the bacon for?
Yeah.
Curiosity.
What am I doing it for?
Yeah.
To eat.
Yeah.
For it?
I put it in packages in the freezer,
Oh,
and then I take it out and use it as I need it. Like if I want to stick it on a hamburger, or if I want to put it on a bacon, egg, and tomato sandwich, I just pull it out of the freezer and nuke it to warm it. I don't like crisp bacon. I cook it so it's still all flexible.
ooh, I gotta have Chris. No.
Oh, I hate crisp.
Oh, I hate flimsy and floppy. But no, but so like what I'm just curious. This is just me being nibby, and we'll go back to seahorses in 10 seconds. But like, so you're cooking it all to have it ready, but I mean, like, you can cook it in the microwave in a minute. I don't get it.
Well, if I cook it in the microwave, first of all, there's the splatter effect,
Okay.
and my microwave, I hate cleaning it
Okay.
because I can't reach the top part of it well.
Got
Right? For me to try and bend over at my age and try and look up the front, it's like doing the damn toaster oven.
Well, that's why we love you, Ray. Is you bring all of this interesting stuff that you figured out to make your life easier that we all benefit from. Go get your bacon before it gets bacteria all over it. We appreciate you coming. See you next week.
Okay, right all.
Night. I didn't tell him happy Thanksgiving because he's Canadian, you guys. He's not celebrating.
Okay, so I'm looking at my filter sock order. So I got 10 4x8 socks for $70.
Jeez.
And that was on sale.
That's it. Oh my gosh. That's what I'm saying, man. Is we're paying more for our Seahorse socks than our own.
But think about this. I hadn't bought socks in 5 years.
Yeah, I get that, but like it was Aphrodite's 3-year birthday the other month?
Yes.
Okay, so after 3 years, the 2 aquarium socks that came with the tank, the all-in-one, maybe it's because it's an all-in-one. Maybe that's the problem. But because I don't remember having to replace socks in other tanks as often. Of course, my 65-gallon doesn't have socks. It goes directly to the algae scrubber. But I
have a big supply of socks, so I'm not using the same sock over and over and over and over. You know, when you think about it, I have so many that each sock is only being used like one day every week or every 2 weeks.
Well, and maybe that's the advice for someone new is go ahead, spend the money and stock up. Because what I did is I instantly bought 2 more thinking, you know, and I'll be honest, even in my all-in-one, I don't change them every day. Maybe, you know, I probably should, but I don't. I change them every couple days and I have 1 extra set. But the thing is, I actually have 3 extra sets because I replace on an all-in-one. There's 2 chambers where the water goes into the back, and both of them, when you buy the tank, usually have socks. And I replace one of them with a UV skimmer, and I have sponge, and I replace the sponge constantly. But so I only have 1 chamber that holds a sock, and still within 3 years, all 4 of these socks are toast. I mean, they're no good. There's holes there. And I wonder too, though.
That's why I just bought new socks, because what's happening to mine mostly is they come separated from the plastic ring, or the plastic ring starts splitting, like it gets a crack. And I know Ray said you could repair them, you know, with glue and stuff, but I'm not that do-it-yourself. I'll just buy new socks.
Guys, that's why we have Ray here every week. If you're a DIY person, we are totally with you. That's awesome. That's why Ray brings all his intelligence to every show. Me and Holly are just not. We're just not. And as I said, the ones that I tried didn't go well. But I mean, these socks are expensive. And I'm glad that you told me that, Holly, because I was thinking that maybe the shape of the all-in-one socks was the problem, because that's exactly what's happening. Where there's a rigid corner, it's tearing. It's getting holes in it. It's falling apart. The material's getting stretched. And I understand it's gravity and it just happens, but they're not cheap. The ones
they're not cheap.
I bought 2 more and it was like $40 for 2. And I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, it's looking like I got mine on Bulk Reef Supply, and looking at them, they're like between like $5 and $8 or $9 a piece for each sock. Depending, there's different ones and there's different quality and stuff with the socks. But like I said, overall, mine lasted me a long time, and I do buy a bunch. I have a lot of them. So...
Well, like I said, I think maybe it's because just that specific shape and size and whatever, the specific socks for the all-in-one, maybe they're able to make them more expensive because they're specialized, right?
Yeah, they're exclusive to that.
Yeah. And young, I keep saying it wrong, Younger Rector said, I have to keep 30 or more for my 75-gallon and 2-ton. Socks are expensive. Amen. That's all I'm saying, right? They're just,
Yeah.
wish I could DIY myself a sock, but that's not going to happen. Anyways, guys, Holly, we're pushing on the 10 o'clock mark. I keep saying these sessions will be shorter, but we get talking and it's fun and I can't stop. So, but did you have anything else tonight?
No, I really don't. I could share some cute baby seahorses if you want to see those. They came up in my memories. So let me.
I'm sorry. You've been waiting this. I'm so sorry, Holly. I forgot you were going to share those. Please share.
Yeah, let me. Well, I didn't have them ready yet. Oh, hold on. Let me first find them.
While
I
you're
have to
finding,
go looking.
yep. Zen Ginger said BRS is having a Black Friday sale too.
Yeah.
Absolutely hit up those sales, y'all. Anybody wants to get me a roller for Christmas? I'm game. No, I'm really kidding when I say that. Please don't send me a roller. Which I hope. Anyways.
All right. So I found them. Let me turn off their sound. All right. Here we go.
Look at some
All
cute.
right. Click on the right thing. There they are.
All right. Here we go.
So these are the teenies. So this would be Aphrodite's batch.
Oh, they're so tiny.
Yeah, so she might be one of them. You don't know. She might be in here in this group.
Well, and they see that one especially seems like it's in that awkward stage where they're not fat yet. You know, they're not.
Yeah, yeah. And this was before I started giving them frozen food. I think you can see. I think, yeah, the next day is when I started introducing them to frozen food.
Yep.
So
And
here they were still on you can see all the baby brine shrimp in there with them.
Yep. And these are adorable fry. Nothing wrong with them. I'm just saying that is seriously, if you don't convert seahorses over to frozen mysis, they never develop that bulky
They
seahorse.
won't make it.
Right. They won't make it.
I think I have another baby one to share. Oh, here we go. So this is while I'm cleaning their tank, they went into a 3-gallon. So you can see them all.
They're so itty bitty.
Yeah, so you can see that's gutter guard that they're hanging on to.
Uh-huh.
That's one of my favorite hitches to use for them.
My
So, yeah,
favorite thing is my favorite thing is when they do frozen and all of a sudden they don't look long and lanky, they look bulky and crazy fat.
They start filling out. Yeah, once they learn to like it and prefer it.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah. But it sure is hard to get them.
I know.
On it. It's an exercise in patience and persistence for sure.
And tough love. Yes. I mean, Dan and I have had literal fights over my not wanting to do the tough love and force them to eat frozen.
Yeah, you just have to keep at it. And yeah, you have to feed them that frozen food several times a day and vacuum it out every time. It's a royal pain, but you have to do it to get them to.
But they're freaking adorable. And
yeah.
I have hope, you guys, that I will figure out how to get Fry back into this house. And when I do, I absolutely plan to do more lives, more videos, showing you guys the steps of the way and when the stubborn little brats won't eat frozen food and how I handle it and that kind of stuff, just in case it helps you guys out. Hopefully with this channel and previous videos, you're pretty confident in just keeping seahorses. It's not hard. Just set up right. right? But with fry, that's a whole different thing. That is a lot more work, as Holly was saying. That's why I want to actually show it. I wish I had done more videos of the process when I had fry. I took a shit ton of pictures. I've got tons of cute videos, but I
Yeah.
never went through like, okay, this little bastard won't eat his food. Here's what I'm gonna do, and this is how I'm gonna resolve this, and that kind of thing.
Mhm.
So I'm still hopeful. You guys cross fingers for me, that I'll be able to do that when they finally do have fry after I switch them up and maybe add some more. But yeah, thank you, Holly, for sharing. They're adorable, and you did such a good job as a new seahorse mom. Well, not new. You already
Yeah.
horses, but you know what I mean. But for
Well, that
tonight,
was my first time raising the babies, though. That was the first time
yeah,
I'd ever had a seahorse have babies.
and look how cute they were. And you
Yeah,
got
they are adorable. I really miss that part of it. I do not miss the labor of taking care of them, but
right.
they are so adorable to watch.
Well, and that's another case where, I personally have kept seahorses, kept them or started with fry and raised fry into adult seahorses. Not as many, but I've done it in literally smaller tanks where I would just
All
swap.
mine were smaller.
Right. When I got really into it, and I talked to Cheryl, and we do have a video online of Cheryl teaching how to set up a seahorse fry tub. When I set up the tubs, I had a lot more success. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It just depends on what you're trying to do. If you just love the seahorse fry and you love the seahorses and you just want, to raise them for your own home, then we can show
Mm-hmm.
you how to do it with two small tanks. Nothing
Yeah.
else.
I mean, if that's the space you have, and you got to think too. I mean, for me, I had a hard enough time finding homes for the ones that I had that I needed to find homes for. If I had a couple hundred of them every few weeks, I don't know what I would have done.
I will
I
bet.
wasn't prepared for that.
Well, maybe someone that has that wonderful problem will become our next amazing
Yeah.
reader, like Vincent, right? But no, I
Yeah.
remember that, Holly. I absolutely do. I remember just being devastated because I couldn't keep the fry alive. I couldn't get them weaned onto frozen food. And talking with Dan and learning and trying and every different thing. My first fry tank had macros in it, which is just insane to me now. You know, I was doing everything wrong. I was able to keep one seahorse alive from that batch, little Cheryl. But my point is, I learned along the way, and then I got too good at it. And all of a sudden, I
Yeah.
set up a 90-gallon because I had all these seahorses that were
Yeah.
on foods and 3 inches. The thing is, though, if you're really into it and it's not affecting your home life or your job or whatever, then usually you can work with local stores. I mean, it is a thing. My local stores work with me. If you dive in deep and just love it so much you want to keep doing it, contact me. We need more breeders, and I'm totally okay with putting you in touch with my connections, my wholesalers, my people. I'd be happy to. So reach out if you're in that position and you want to sell seahorses and you're good at raising them. We need more people like you. But in the meantime, I just want to see Zen Ginger's seahorse tank set up. So let's get
For
that across
sure.
in the meantime. And for tonight, I am going to call it for the night, guys. But again, Holly, thank you for sharing. And thank you guys all for coming. I hope everyone that celebrates has a happy Thanksgiving. And I'm going to get Robert King in here. I'm going to try to get someone to talk to us about the rollers in here because I just want to know. And
Yeah.
if you have any topics or guests that you want on the show, just reach out because this is more for the community, guys. This isn't about me, it's about you guys. So what you want to talk about is what we want to talk about. It's just when we get here and nobody's asked anything, we're going to chat. So Thank you to everybody who comes every week and who watches later. Just let us know if we can talk about anything more specific or have anybody in here to talk to us. But for tonight, let's say cheers and call it a night. And we'll see you next week for sure. Have a great holiday if you're celebrating, and happy Wine Wednesday. Cheers.
Cheers.
Ah! I'm hitting my light. Where is it?